My name is Jason Isikovic. I'm the Legislative Director here at NACWA. So things are heating up legislatively actually a lot. So right now the House Appropriations Committee has begun work on their appropriations bills for the fiscal year, which begins October 1st this year for fiscal year 2020. So we've been meeting a lot with the appropriators and their staff over the past couple weeks. The first round of the bill that was passed through the subcommittee last week includes significant gains for the Clean Water SRF. Also includes funding for a lot of the provisions NACWA worked to secure in the Water Resources Development Act last year. That includes water workforce funding as well as funding for the CSO and stormwater grants. So we're in a pretty good position on that front. We're going to continue working with the appropriators to make sure clean water continues to remain a key priority for the appropriations process. The other big bill is the bipartisan introduction of the Clean Water State Revolving Fund Reauthorization Bill, HR 1497. Key components of that bill, it reauthorizes and provides the largest increases ever for the Clean Water SRF. Also includes authorized funding for several other clean water programs important to the sector. The committee's looking to probably mark that up sometime in the next couple weeks and try to get that to the House for a full vote sometime this summer. So on the appropriations front, right now there's budget caps that are in place that will take effect again this next fiscal year. So there's some discrepancies right now in the budget numbers that both Republicans in the Senate and Democrats in the House want to write the appropriations bills to. So I think the appropriations process will go well past the start of the fiscal year on October 1st and take some form where there's a budget in place followed by subsequent appropriations bills. But I do think the clean water sector is well positioned to at least get a lot of the funding increases that we've been working to secure over the past couple of months when the time comes. On the Clean Water SRF front, I think right now it's a bipartisan bill in the House that they're looking to mark up and get on the House floor, as I mentioned. I think the Senate is still kind of deciding what path they want to take on that, but with the infrastructure package highly unlikely at this point, the Water Resources Development Act is likely the legislative vehicle that the Clean Water SRF bill will be attached to sometime next year. So we're continuing to work with the committee staff on that to position that bill for long-term success this Congress. So PFAS has really been probably one of the biggest hot-button issues in Congress so far. So NACWA has been working with members of Congress and staff to really educate them a little more on the PFAS issue from our perspective and some of the unintended consequences that the legislative proposals out there may have on our sector. So right now there's been hearings in both the House and Senate respective committees to kind of talk about a path forward legislatively, which they're going to be working through in the next couple of weeks. So NACWA is continue to work with those members and make sure that any type of legislation out there does take into account the unintended consequences that these bills could have on the public clean water sector. So I always like to tell everyone, I think NACWA does a very good job of advocating for policies important to the sector, but we really only are as strong as our members, and our members have been nothing short of amazing the past few years on the advocacy front and made our jobs here at NACWA much easier. That includes integrated planning, the Farm Bill, appropriations, WRDA, a plethora of bills that I really think we wouldn't have gotten our provisions included or passed into law if it wasn't for our members. So right now, it really is the time for the clean water sector. In an era of very few bipartisan areas for compromise, I think clean water is really one of the areas we might be able to get something done this Congress, and our members' advocacy is more important than ever, and making sure we capitalize on the time now for the clean water sector.